Now, I want to go back to Dory for a second. Adam couldn't be here tonight, but I know that he certainly had some opinions about this. Give it up for Adam. Very controversial player. And from what I can see, Adam and Dory were really the only two who were actively trying to sway people away from the couples. Dory, why do you think it didn't work out, trying to get people not to go with the couples?
You know, it wasn't even so much about the couples. It was this particular couple. Because I knew Mike and Jen were going to play man for themselves, and they truly did. Like, there were a couple times they voted together, but that was just because it was in both of their best interests, not because they were trying to carry each other through the game. So I knew it was this couple that had to get out, because Jared was never, ever, ever going to turn on Ashley. And Ashley was never, ever, ever going to turn on Jared. So
maybe instead of focusing on us the whole time, you should have been focusing on the fact that you were in a tribe with
obviously, I should have played a more social game. However, if people had listened to Adam or I, then they wouldn't have made the Final Four.
That's true. And that does go back to the original reason behind the premise of couples versus singles. We did start with an equal amount at the beginning to see if the singles could stand together, unite against the power of love.
Well,
Kayla, did you have something to add?
no, well, to be fair though, a lot of us were playing with, us as single people, were playing with people that I've never even met before. So, I mean, at least two out of they were couples, but even so, I was playing against people that I didn't even really know.
And to be fair to my point, every single person I tried to sway against them got voted out by them. So it's not like I was wrong. It's not like Adam was wrong. We were all right. We were right. So they were all gone.
That sounds like a back row comment.
Mike would say the same thing.
What's your comment, Mike?
I want to say that you have to use what you have to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And
does that include?
Oh, we'll get to the audience questions in just a second.
there were some obvious mistakes in my game, but the couples towards the end could have been infiltrated. They could have been broken up if the right moves had been made, and I just didn't make the right moves. So you had to use what you saw as the power. A bunch of singles are no power to me. Like, that's not going to do anything for me. But to get to a certain point in the game, you have to use what you have and then be able to make the right moves to move on. And that's where I resorted to threatening instead of gameplay.
And I'll admit, I never saw myself as a disadvantage being a single. I never saw that as a disadvantage.
Timing is everything.
On the initial teams though, did we have any parts of couples on our team?
No, we were all singles. They
So
were all
I will say that was a little bit of a disadvantage because I would have gone after Jen or Mike or Jared or...
Well, not necessarily, because right now we're playing as a tribe. And if you want to stay, then just win.
And the other thing is, if the couple's tribe... If the couple's tribe lost like they did for the first at least 1-2 challenges, I can't remember. It broke up at least one of those couples right off the bat.
Ashley G has a comment here.
Just saying, we're not a couple, and we made it onto the couple's tribe and made it to final.
That was completely random. Yeah.
You have to have trust in your alliance to make sure you can get to a far place.
And I think like a boon for us too is that we did lose that first challenge, so we right off the bat had to form an alliance, and then the very next round the tribes all split again, so their chance to form an alliance never really had a full chance to form an alliance before they were all split up and thrown all over the place, and we already had like our 6-person or maybe 5-person if you and Jen weren't working together. But I assumed at that point that you guys were, so
yeah. There were a lot of shakedowns. Jared, would you have ever considered voting out Ashley?
No.
Okay.
That's
love.
Yeah.
That's love. Now, Jen, you and Mike had decided beforehand that you weren't going to play together, like, actively. Was there any reasoning behind that?
Well, we had heard that there was a lot of drama about the couples last year, so we're like, we need to go into this as singles so that nobody targets us as a couple. Because we didn't want to be the power couple that got voted out.
That's true. And going.
And that's not to say that we wouldn't end up playing together. But you have to get into the game
1 second.
and see what's going to get you further.
We've got Becca on the phone here. Okay. Becca, we just had a couple questions for you. Dory would like some clarification. I don't know if you'll be able to hear her, but Dory, shout your loudest.
All right, Becca, you told me when you voted Ronan out, you said, I am loyal to you to the end, but now everybody in your alliance is saying you were going to vote me out next, so which one was it?
I think I can't remember. I think I just decided to change my mind.
Yeah. That's what we respect about you, Becca. And Becca, I just had one other question for you. You and Jen really hadn't interacted at all before this game. How did that tight alliance form?
I don't know. I think I felt like Jared and Ashley were doing too well, and I just wanted to kind of jump ship halfway. Even though I know I wasn't really on their alliance, but I was kind of tagging along, and so I knew that wasn't something I would be on till the end. So I just decided that I would just try to jump ship. I had no idea who the alliances were. I really had absolutely no idea. So I was just trying to get with another couple because I didn't really feel strong with Jared and Ashley at that point.
Well, it seems that they appreciated your help. We want to thank Becca. She's got to put her kids to bed. Dory, thank you for your loyalty.
I would just like to say that
Becca has something to say.
Jesse's going to be the winner.
Wait,
Say that again.
I think next year Jesse's going to be the winner.
Whoa!
Prediction.
We'll have to wait and see.
Can you ask her if she regrets what she did to me?
Ronan wants to know if you regret what you did to him, voting him out.
However, cause me severe emotional
No, because
No.
Because she made it further.
Would it make a difference if she knew that it caused him severe emotional trauma?
She said it was all part of the game. Played it
I've literally had to go to counseling for the last
Hey, she played an awesome game. Give her one more round of applause. Have a good night. Thank you for signing in. Bye-bye. All right. Now we're going to open it up to the audience. Give a round of applause to the audience, guys. We were sent in a couple questions, and we reached out to fans and viewers. And by far and away, the most burning question we got, this question people had to know, they were losing sleep over it. Mike, why didn't you put your shirt back on?
I don't like shirts, honestly, and you're lucky I wasn't in my underwear. This is Survivor, and I don't feel as though you're supposed to be wearing all of your clothes on Survivor. For one, it was 100 degrees outside. Two, my shirt was wet from that first challenge when I ended up taking it off, and I was comfortable.
and showing off his muscles.
And for that we thank you. Yes, thank you. Mike knows his shirt.
Well, Colin, our cameraman here.
Well, one is just a comment, it was a question. The comment is, the singles are acting like it was some grand feat that the couples stayed together, but you had just as much power as they do because 3 of you is equal to, they can only vote for one person, that's their alliance, is one person. It's just a vote.
Mm-hmm.
While they do have a lot of trust, you can have that same opportunity to have trust with your alliance. You just didn't have it. It's just a vote. That's all you have to do.
No, I do agree with what you're saying, honestly. I'm not blaming that on the reason why, us single people lost or anything. I just did feel kind of like, obviously, there was a little bit of a advantage that they did have, is they already had that one vote going in.
Right, but that's that's why you had tribal time
I didn't make
together.
the right moves to.
Oh, and my question is to the 4 of you. When Jesse won the immunity, was there ever even a slight thought by any of you to go to your closer alliance and say, hey, let's try to get them off? Was there ever even a thought?
I have a thought. I don't want to be a jerk, but I have a thought.
You had a thought.
And what would it have been?
I thought like, maybe Jared and I might be able to swing one of them to vote the other off or something, but there wasn't really at that point any even opportunities for pulling off into separate conversations and stuff like that. And then I also wanted to say like a bigger part of me, I guess, wanted to, but I did still have the thought, and I mean, it maybe would have been fun to pull off, but part of my game was the fact that like I tried to play an honest game to my alliance.
Then that's where I thought Ashley made a good play by Ashley Gassett by saying, let's just split. Like you made the decision right there, so it almost made it difficult for you guys to have a separate.
Actually, yes, it did take charge a lot of the game.
Well, the other thing too is that when Jesse voted off one of us, it could have come to the fact that I thought that if I guess it didn't really help me, but the other one that's in the closer alliance of like the two and then the other two, the one that got voted off would probably vote for their closest alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of gave that extra vote if you continue to stay true to that person.
That's true. Now, that round, Zach was pretty desperate to find a way to get Jesse out. I have to say, he was pulling out all the stops.
I'm sorry, Jesse.
Yeah. Get on your knees and apologize. We'll do that later. You had your hand up earlier.
I did, yeah, Mike, you were saying that you had to use everything at your disposal to get ahead. And I think for you personally, a shirt would have been a good tool at your disposal. Maybe people would have taken you more seriously when you were talking about Zach.
I didn't vote for him.
Oh dear.
Zach, you have something to add there?
Took Mike more or less seriously.
Let's just say
wasn't wearing.
Mike without a shirt on was way more threatening.
Yeah, right.
Wanted to body slam.
But what would have worked better is lying, and that's the one thing I did wrong.
Yeah, you
Is I didn't lie.
I think
at
Mike
the
needs to
end.
take his shirt off now.
Now, we didn't catch this, we didn't get this on tape, but apparently Mike threatened Zach just before he was voted out that he was going to sway the jury against him. Zach, what was your reaction when that happened?
I was scared. He still is a little bit.
Were you physically scared of Mike, or were you just scared he was gonna?
Well, he was kind of up in my face.
Yeah.
And his shirt was off.
He told me
So
that no one would vote for me, and I'd cry.
I think you guys need to hug it out right now.
Hug it out. Hug it out.
To this day, we are friends.
Wait, Mike, when did you just whisper in his ear?
Yeah, he said you better sleep with one eye open.
Did his medal hurt you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did this hurt you?
Did you have something to add?
Yes.
All right, let's pan over to this audience member.
When you guys all played your idols all at the same time, why did you do that? If you knew you weren't going home, why did you all four play your idols?
Oh, I know. Oh, sorry.
Go.
If there happened to be a tie between, I think it was if there was going to be a tie between someone and then we had to re-vote, could we not use our idols that time, or could we?
You would have been. No, you could not have.
Yeah, and I think.
I think on my own.
And I think it was that we weren't sure if there was going to be a tie, and then there's going to be a re-vote, and then we wouldn't be able to use our idols, and one of us would be taken.
We didn't want to take the chance.
We also weren't sure if they had figured out that we had figured out that they were going to vote off Jared, so they could have all switched and decided to vote off Zach instead. So just to be safe, since I had the immunity token, and so they all played theirs just that way that we would all be safe. And then after that, we had the majority.
Good reason.
It was a good play. I was confused right at first, but it did work out. Did you have anything else?
For kids like you.
Did you have anything else to add, Eliza?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Not yet. Amber has a question.
Yes. When Jessie was speaking to you, Zach, during Final Tribal Council, and she asked something about why you voted her out, and you made some remark about how she hadn't wronged anybody, and if she had been with you on Tribal Council, you felt like people would have voted for her. For those of you that were on the jury at that point in time, if Jessie had been with Zach and maybe one of the Ashleys, who would have voted for Jessie?
Who would have voted for Jessie to win at that point?
If I was on the
If
jury,
you were
I
on
would
the
vote for
jury.
Jessie.
If you didn't make it to the jury, but you were.
Because Jessie shocked me because she was so quiet. I didn't know how hard she was playing the game, but she was really playing.
Jesse
Yes.
gained my respect in the the water challenge with
The
running
balance
across the
beam.
beams. She just like gave everything she possibly had,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, I want to work with Jessie, and she was loyal. She was loyal, and she was hardworking.
Becca would have voted for you.
Yeah, that
I'm so sorry, Jess.
That balance beam challenge, that turned out way more intense than I thought it was going to be, but it was awesome. Becca, she, watching the finale, she was watching at the same time we were, she said, this is just how I remember it actually happening. She says, I still wish Jessie won. She's my fan favorite. Were there any other questions? The person who won the most individual immunity challenges, our challenge queen, Ashley Gassett. And you get this.
Jared? Sorry, but this boy watched his mom and dad both play. And
Yes.
he would like to come out because he's really tired.
Give it up for
Just
Damon
loves his
Martin.
parents.
Damon Martin!
Good job, Damon. Let's also pan over to Mike and Jen's kids. They have Ivy and Oakley. Mike does have a heart. He's very children. Oakley, come here. Oakley, how did it feel going back and yes? Okay. How did it feel going back through and watching these videos of your dad playing such a hardcore game?
Disappointed that he didn't come in last.
We have. What are we gonna do for the Hutchinsons? We've hired a family therapist.
Your battery's gone.
Okay, my battery's going back. All right. Something else that we did for you guys. I don't think any of you knew about this. You might have found out. We did a fan favorite vote. We sent out a poll to over 20 people. 24 people voted. All right, so we did a fan favorite vote. Coming in third place. Third place for the fan favorite vote. Wait, let me make sure I get the medal. It was a tie between Becca Barter and Ronan Diaz. But he's here, so he gets the medal and ribbon.
What an honor.
Yep. Coming in second place in the fan favorite poll, Jen Hutchinson. All right. And last but certainly not least, the fans have spoken. Their favorite player, Mike Hutchinson. And Mike, you'll be receiving a gift card of your own.
And a shirt.
And no, not a shirt. You can go on. You came in 7th place, so you will be getting a $7 gift card to Rite Aid. Give it up for Mike, everybody. All right. So this was obviously a very exciting year. Now, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I didn't tell you guys what we're going to be doing next year. Whoa. If you think you can handle this. Yeah, nice and pumped up.
The town of Winthrop is full of secrets and surprises. Some are plain for all to see, while others remain buried, perhaps never to be uncovered. But for next year's group of castaways, nothing will stay hidden for long.
Survivor Winthrop treasure hunt. If you or any of your family members you know someone who would like to apply, we'll reach out to you.